I'm Mark Krikorian. Yeah. Give it up for your host for making an attempt. You know, it's all good. Yeah, great job. Great set, by the way. But, yeah, you know, a little bit about me. I turned 19 this year. I know. I kind of look like an off-duty cop. You know, sometimes people think I'm joking when I say I'm 19. They come up to me after shows. They're like, "Are you really 19?" I'm like, "Yeah, how old did you think I am?" They're like, "I don't know, I just thought you had a mortgage or something. You look like you carry debt, you know?" But, yeah, you know, I'm a young guy. I'm currently in college, like some of you, I know. Yes, I'm in community college. And I was talking to my dad about his college experience, and my dad actually went to college in the Soviet Union. Yeah, talk about a rough RA, you know? But you know, I went to college, I'm in community college, I went to Soviet Union. He actually moved from Lebanon to Armenia to get his degree, and he had to learn Russian while going to his classes, and he passed with flying colors, which is crazy, because I'm currently on something called academic probation. I don't know if we've... Yeah, I'm not the smartest cookie in the cookie shed, you know? But, yeah, the other day, I had my first sexual experience, you know? Yeah! Thank you. She didn't give me an applause, but that's all. Hell yeah, yes. But no, I realized that I'm my most Arab during dirty talk, you know? I'll be with the woman. I'll give you guys some time to process that, okay? But no, you know, I'll be with the woman, I'm like, "Oh my God, you're so sexy, you're so beautiful." And then when I'm about to come, I'm like, "Allah Akbar!" Yes. But yeah, you know, I've been going through college. I've actually been getting a lot of compliments on my mustache lately. It's only dudes, but it still counts. They've been calling my mustache gay. You know, which I take as a compliment, you know? It's like, what, you're saying my mustache has good fashion sense, is organized, and likes it up the ass? It's like, yeah, sure, my mustache is gay, you know? But if you're gonna call my mustache gay, that means that there's like straight and bisexual ones. You know, I disagree with the idea that mustaches are sexualities, right? I think they're ethnicities, you know? Like an Asian one you never see because it's studying too hard, right? A Mexican one might be a little bit too overgrown because it's working too hard, right? My bad, damn, okay. We all know what a German one looks like, right? Okay, we got some college kids, they don't know their history, it's all good. No, I'm fucking with you. Anybody, actually no, I'm Lebanese Armenian, so I've pretty much had facial hair my whole life. I also had an early growth spurt, so I was 5'9" with a mustache in 5th grade. Yeah, I pulled up to elementary school looking like a pedophile. Yeah. I would try to make friends and kids would be like, "Stranger danger, you know. But, you know, I was also a really dumb kid too. So I looked years ahead, but I was years behind, you know. I would always ask my teachers the same stupid question. I'd be like, "Does it matter which way the numbers face?" She'd be like, "Mark, you're 30, you should know this by now." I've also had body hair my whole life. I'm pretty sure I gave my mom rug burn on the way out. Oh, my bad, too far, my bad. I'll go back to making fun of ethnicities. That's what you guys like. Jesus, all right. But no, you know, I'm a hairy guy. I'm so hairy, I gotta wash my chest hair with shampoo. And if I'm going on dates, I'll use conditioner. Anybody else? Just me? Okay. But no, you'll try it? Nice. Hell yeah. Hasn't really worked for me, but fuck it. But you know, growing up, I was the only Arab kid at my school, which made me the only hairy kid at my school, you know. One time a kid pointed out to me that I had a unibrow, so I went home and I used a razor for the first time and shaved off half of both my eyebrows. Yes, I looked really fucking stupid. I had a terrible buzz cut my dad gave me, the eyebrow situation, and terrible teeth. I had to go to school the next day looking like a crack addict. You know, so one day I'm a pedophile, the next I'm a crack addict, right? You know, I never looked like an actual child, right? All right, this is kind of sad, my bad. But, you know, anybody here work a hard job? You look like a hard-working man. Do you work a hard job, sir?
No.
No? That's fine. I've actually been getting a lot of no's on that answer. What do you do?
I work in a bakery.
You work at a bakery. Okay, that's not too bad, yeah. Making the cakes, you got some cake in the oven, that's cool. I worked a hard job, actually. I worked at a Jamba Juice. Guys, I'm joking. You didn't pick up on that. But no, it was a lot of fun. It was me and my friends and this Egyptian lady, and whenever she would leave me in charge because I was the only other one with a mustache. Oh, my bad. Okay, you guys are so different. Some are laughing, some are groaning. But yeah, I worked at that Jamba Juice. It was a lot of fun. First thing I would do as boss is turn off the lights, make the store look closed, right? Customers would come in and be like, I thought you were closed. I'm like, that's the point, bitch, get out of here. And on the weekend, I'd be running the store the whole day, so those lights would never be turned on in the first place. Kind of like my first girlfriend. Oh, that's just another sad one, my bad. I'll stop being sad, Jesus Christ. No, but no, working there was a lot of fun. Me and my friends would always mess with customers like any way we could. We'd be like, you guys ever seen like a 5-star kitchen when they make call outs for every action they're doing? We do the same thing at a Jamba Juice, just by ourselves making a smoothie. We'd be like, blending, handing customer smoothie. It's pretty stupid. Sometimes you'd be at the register like, card declined, But one thing that would always piss me off about working at Jamba is customers would always try to add something healthy to an unhealthy smoothie. And they'd come and they'd be like, what do you think about adding kale to a peanut butter mousse? And I'd be like, I think you should go fuck yourself. That is the worst thing. Plus the lights are off, we're closed, get out of here. Yeah. But I recently graduated high school. In high school, I actually lost 40 pounds. Nice, thank you. Right after gaining 40 pounds. Yes. I decided to get big for football, and then I quit halfway through the season. My coach would make me play center, and I don't know if you guys know what the role of center is, but you're supposed to snap the ball to the quarterback, and I couldn't do that. I was terrible at that. I go up to my coaches one practice, I'm like, hey, can I change positions? And they're just like, no, this is too fucking funny. We've been in practice for 10 minutes, you haven't gotten a ball to the quarterback, man. This is terrible. But no, to lose weight, I had to start going to the gym. At my heaviest, I didn't have any facial hair and I had a very round face. I looked like a brown Rosie O'Donnell. You don't gotta groan. I'm joking. Okay, I'll just move on. And at my lightest, I just looked like a plumber, But losing weight was fun, One time I was in the locker room and this guy came up to me and he gave me kind of a weird compliment. He was like, hey dude, you got a nice ass, right? Yeah, kind of a weird compliment. Well, I thought it was weird because he was naked, right? I was like, thanks, you too, But yeah, I've been playing a lot of pickup basketball as well. I got my first ankle breaker the other day. Yes. Old motherfucker never saw it coming, Don't come, I'm snatching your ankles, bro. Nah, I'm joking. But yeah, all throughout high school, my friends would call me debatably white. Yeah, because I'm ethnically ambiguous. I know I look like I just came straight from a Nintendo game, People take one look at me and call me Luigi, Which honestly kind of pisses me off, right? You're just saying I look like a bitch-ass plumber, I tried to change this lady's mind one time. She was like, don't test your luck, bitch. I was about to say Squidward with a mustache, All right, I'll close it out on this. I'm Middle Eastern, so, I was thinking about 9/11 the other day, right? It's gonna take a turn. No, but yeah, it's kind of like my Roman Empire, right? But no, I was thinking about one of the conspiracy theories. One of the conspiracy theories is that Bush did it. They say it was like an inside job, which kind of pisses me off because that's just another case of a white man trying to take credit for a minority's work. It's like, we did the planning, we got on Zoom, right? You know how hard it is to get a terrorist on Zoom? You have to blow up their phone. Oh, too far, my bad. You guys have been great, thank you.